welcome back to Michigan. No, welcome back to MTD CNC, but we are in Michigan, and I'm with my buddy Dylan. We're at Rolar Products, a really cool company with a great history. And who better to tell that history than a guy who's been here 16 years before the recent acquisition, who actually purchased a house the day before it got acquired. There was a little bit of stress that went through that, and yet today the future looks bright, and we get to share that story with you through the MTD platform. So thank you, Dylan, for being a part of the show. I'm so excited to learn from you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So Dylan, let's talk about 16 years. You've been around Muskegon a long time, if not your whole life.
Whole life.
Competitor companies, Rolar, you've seen the transitions. What was it like 16 years ago at Rolar?
16 years ago, it was a much smaller company. We had 3 employees, including myself. We had 4 CNC machines. Rolar was built on a screw machine platform. So before they jumped into the CNC world, they had about 16 screw machines in the building. It was a much different era. The screw machines are something that, to me, is wizardry. Everything built, you know, at that time, all running on gears and cams was something that was, it amazed me. You know, before I got into CNC, I was a cable installer. A neighbor came along and asked me, hey, you know, we need some extra parts run. Would you like to make some extra money? I thought, hey, I can run some parts. That wouldn't be too bad. Make a little extra money. I've always been big into numbers and math and all the things that came along with it, it turned out. So eventually I took on a full-time position with another company, and you know, here we are 16 years later, and still making chips.
That's kind of incredible. I just want to kind of echo that last statement of, you were a cable installer? Is that what you said?
I was a cable installer. I was actually a technical supervisor of broadband installation for Western Michigan University, so had nothing to do with CNC machining.
The reason I had to echo that statement, guys, is because we constantly hear a story of transition from one field into the machining world. And because there is a large skills gap right now, never be afraid to pursue a path that makes you happy. Knowing Dylan, knowing what he's done here at Rolar and the growth, he has such joy in what's being created as a production manager here, right?
Yeah.
What was that transition like, going from what you knew to something a little unknown? And you said, okay, a little extra money at first, but obviously now it's a full-time passion. Yeah. What was that transition like?
So I've got to see every aspect of it, from being just a general operator, not having a clue how to set up a machine or actually make it do what it's doing, to getting a little more further along the lines of where now I'm starting to set up the machines, to being the only programmer on the floor. When I came to Rolar, they gave me 2 weeks to learn G&M code. I didn't think it was possible. I came from Mazatrol. At the time, Rolar Products only had Haas. I knew Mazatrol. So in 2 weeks, I brought every book home I could possibly bring home and read, and taught myself the basics of G&M code. Obviously, I didn't learn it all in 2 weeks, but after a few months of hard learning, I was able to produce a part on my very own.
It's impressive, brother. All on its own, that's impressive. So 16 years to now, there's been a lot of growth. I'm looking around, there's obviously more than 4 machines at this point. There's obviously more than 3 employees, including yourself, right? As the growth has happened, what's it been like internally to go with that small to now much larger capacity?
Well, it's hiring the right people and bringing in the right talent. When I started this, obviously I didn't have the talent to run a machine shop, you know, so I brought in the best programmers I could find, and you know, they helped me along the way with what can we do to get next, what can we do to be more efficient, to be better and faster. And without our team here, we wouldn't be half of what we are. Jack taking over 6 years ago, you know, we went from the 3 employees to now we have close to 40 employees.
It's impressive, and I like the area of Muskegon. Muskegon is not just a fun word to say, but it's a great place to live as well. So seeing this expansion in the Michigan area is a beautiful thing. Now, at Rolar, you've talked about how it started 16 years ago, the machines that were here. We talked about the wizardry of the Swiss line as well, and all these machines here. What exactly does Rolar work on? For the people out there right now going, well, I need some more parts made. I could use support in what I'm creating as well. What trustworthy companies can I partner with in order to do that additional work that I need? What industry do you support?
We support many different industries, from paintball guns to gearing to all kinds of different motor mounts, we do a lot of different things for different industries. We don't want to put all our eggs in one basket in case one goes down and the other one, goes up. So we diversify along the lines of many different product lines. So if one goes down, another one usually picks up. Like we all seen with COVID and all the stuff that we went through with that. We became essential very quickly along the lines. We produced a part that actually went into one of the disinfectant sprayers that kept the NBA going. So we went from producing 6,000 pieces a month to 6,000 pieces a week. Yeah.
That's quite the growth.
Yeah.
Amongst this expansion, it would be remiss of me not to mention ERP and machine monitoring. Now, amongst this growth, you've implemented Datanomics into your system where you have a bird's eye view of everything that's going on. And if you want to deep dive into where something's not running as efficient as it should, you have a full-fledged system that allows you to get this information quickly without walking around, without asking questions. All of the time has been removed where we used to need that tribal knowledge to get the information.
Yeah, we don't say tribal knowledge around here, sorry.
That's okay. We use it industry-wide to go, well, it exists, but not having it here because you have the software to support that.
Exactly.
What has Datanomics done for you as you continue to grow to support that growth and education for everyone here?
So with Datanomics, every morning we get the coffee report, which helps. I can go through the coffee report, I can see the production, the efficiencies of the night before. But in the long term on the runs, I can see how this job ran 6 months ago. I can look back in an upcoming job and say, hey, 6 months ago, we had trouble with this job. What happened? What was the problem with it? We go back into that data and we can figure out before that job's actually up and running, we can go into the problem and try and resolve it before it's actually on the machines.
Every time I have a conversation similar to this, Datanomics is a great company. In my head while it's going on, I just every time go, gosh, I wish I would have had that back when I was doing machining. How beneficial must that be to removing all the wasted time that there used to be to gather that information?
Yeah, it's huge. It helps us in so many ways, just with our efficiencies, with our production along the lines of, having the setups ready to go and knowing that there could be an issue with a job that we haven't run in 6 months to a year, being able to look at that data and say, hey, this was a hard running job last time. What can we do to make it more efficient? We all want to make money. If we're not efficient, we're not making money. So that with Datanomics has helped us increase our efficiencies and our profitabilities across the board.
When we're talking about profitability and making money, as you say, which we all want to do, I know that you, whether it's recently, semi-recently, or actually for a little bit longer now, have got into the quoting side of things, right? You've really learned a lot working with Jack Russell here. On the quoting side of things, how does Datanomics support how quickly you can get back to your customers when it comes to quoting?
So Datanomics helps me with being able to look at a job that I may have quoted, and whether I quoted it high or whether I quoted it low, Datanomics gives me the telltale sign that, hey, this job has been quoted a little bit under the margin. That's not what we want. We want jobs that are running efficiently and producing the proper amount of money that it was quoted at. If we didn't have that and we didn't have Datanomics to show us those efficiencies, we wouldn't know how our quotes are working. I mean, you can look at the quotes after jobs run and say, hey, did we make money on that job? We might have, we might not have. I mean, we could sit there and collect the data and go through it, page by page and sit there, with pencils and erasers and make sure that we're all right on it. But Datanomics gives us a report every morning of how efficient we actually were.
I hear there's actually a paper shortage currently as well, so maybe we're working with Datanomics for those reasons.
Maybe I haven't pushed that one.
Yeah. So along with all of this, now that everyone's starstruck by what you guys are doing here at Rolar, if they want to learn more about Rolar, how they can get in contact with you, the rest of the company, what's your website? Do you have any socials that they can reach out to you as well? Any information you could convey to the audience?
You can find Rolar Products on Facebook, LinkedIn. Our website is rolarproducts.com. You can get an overview of kind of everything we do here, the machines that we have on the floor, and our capabilities.
Absolutely brilliant, my friend. I appreciate you sharing this time, this story. 16 years in the making, buying a new house, jumping into this, another new house recently.
Yeah.
This is just such a powerful industry, Dylan, and people like you, we need more of you. So thank you for doing what you do. And on behalf of MTD, we wish you much success moving forward.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.